So I wanted to continue talking about the circle structure and in preparation for the workshop that's happening next month. Last time I talked about the three treasures, and there's just something I wanted to share. Last time I didn't. So I talked about the three treasures, the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The Buddha is no self, which so-called enlightenment is seeing that. I also gave that talk about life as a dream, seeing that the thing I call a self is the fixed ideas in my mind. In fact, there is no self. And that's an experience, so-called Jijus on my samadhi, the experience of no self. So we talk about it forever, but it can't be said. It's an experience. And that's one of the families, is no self, and it's white. I researched 5 families and there's so many different way of talking about the 5 families in different schemes. I told you when I first learned about it was with Soltram and Bernie, and they disagreed on the colors and things. So I just tell you how I see the 5 families, but it's a wonderful practice to see the colors. They say how Trungpa Rinpoche first, the 5 family as a part of Buddhism is ancient. It's very, very ancient. But Trungpa Rinpoche really saw it. He went to a party, which, if you know anything about him, that was a big part of their Sangha, with lots of parties. Particularly, he liked alcohol. But at any rate, he went to a party and he noticed everything was red. There was just this red glow around everything at the party. And he was like, what is that? And that is from the 3 treasures standpoint, that is the Sangha, the connection of all beings. Everything is one, and the color is red. When we're together having a good old time, there's kind of that red glow. When you fall in love, that little blush is that red. Buddha, however, no self, is white, spacious, empty. And Dharma, the differences, the things, all the things in the universe, is blue. So I just wanted to talk about this experience that we have of the colors, are kind of different kinds of samadhis. I think I'm not an expert on all of these things, but the white is that Jiju Zanmai, which Maizumi Roshi always said self-fulfilled joyous, but now I found out that translation is not correct. It's self-fulfilled samadhi. So in a way it's no self, in a way it's only self. Self-fulfilled samadhi, the experience of no self. And that's something that we think happens with Zazen. I don't have that quote. I found it. There's one teacher who I like, who said he really thinks it's difficult to realize no self without Zazen and Sesshin, without that hour after hour of meditation, of Zazen, of whatever our practice is, digging in. What is it? What is true self? What is it? And then another awakening experience is the identity of true self and everything else. So we say the identity of relative and absolute, absolute being no self, and relative being all the different things. They're the same. They're the same. That's why I appreciated Peter mentioned that about the scheme for the Zen Center, the circle scheme, that he was glad it wasn't some big, complicated, huge thing. And it was initially. I tried to make it into a Venn diagram. All these circles and interacting in different ways is so complicated. And it didn't work. Then be, oh no, but that one needs this one. And I just now realized that there's only one circle in our Venn diagram, and it doesn't have an edge. It's no circle. But for the three treasures, they're completely overlapping. The no self, the differences, and the oneness of the people is all the same thing. It's just seeing it differently. And it goes for the five families too. It's one circle. And we just see different aspects at different times, and the aspects run into each other. And you're talking about one thing, and all of a sudden you're in the other thing. So it's for blue people, for those of us when we're in our blue, which is the differences. And also the blue energy loves constructs. So it's the blue energy that makes these complicated systems and things like that. And the distorted blue energy is angry because other people don't buy into our systems. Basically, we get angry when we don't get what we want, when we don't get heard. I lost my thought. But the so creating the system is the blue energy. And so when we're stuck in the blue energy, at the same time, there's the interconnection. So and the red for the Sangha, the interconnection, that's connection, it's love, it's compassion, it's empathy. So it's both at the same time. So when I get mad because you don't do what I want you to do, if I can just shift a little over into the red and get where you're coming from, have that compassion, that connection. Okay, I'm going to skip that quote again and go to the five families. Well, next time we give a talk, I'll do this part. It's just too long. So where's this? Okay, so I talked about the three, and how I see it is, and I think I heard a scholar say that is initially there were the three treasures. Soon after Buddha awakened, the those who were awakened saw that there were the three aspects. So maybe that's upsetting. I said those who are awakened versus those who aren't awakened. Isn't that separate? So that's blue. In blue, we can talk about. There's some people who have a deeper spiritual insight than others. It's a fact. From the red standpoint, everyone is Buddha. So being able to switch back and forth. So anyway, then the five, then two more got added. So we've got the white, the red, the blue, then the yellow is really related to the red, I think. The oneness, it's it's related to the red and the blue. The red is related to the interconnection of all beings, people. It's more related to people. The yellow is the interconnection of all things and the taking care of all things. The distorted side of yellow is greed. It's never enough money. There's never enough canned goods in the basement. There's never enough cars. The greed around people is red, but so the other side of that is generosity, and the first part is seeing the fruitfulness of our earth, of our life. Everything is provided. And of course, when it gets distorted, that's not true. Some of us take a way bigger share than others. And the action of the Padma, Padma's red, the yellow is Ratna, is generosity. So Buddha said that, life is suffering, right? And there's an end to suffering. And one way to end suffering is to have enough, to see what I have as being what I want. To see I have enough. And of course, you're going to say there's some people who really don't have enough. There's people in Gaza right now who have way less than enough. So that's the blue. And you can go there. From the standpoint of yellow, there is enough resources for all of us to have enough. And because of the greed, because of the distortion, that's not happening now. So that's how the five families work together. I don't know how clear this is. But the practice of yellow is generosity. The preoccupation is wanting to possess, not having enough. The practice is to realize I have enough and to practice generosity. One of the workshops we did on five families, with Bernie, we had little breakout groups, and the one I was in was about generosity. And I realized I have never given away anything that I wanted. You know, I'll go, do you want this blouse? I never wear it. Oh, I'm so generous. Do you want this $10? I don't need it. I really don't need it. I have plenty of money. But Marilyn Mukon, who I gave Ratna Dharma holder to her because her generosity was unbelievable. And the Zen Center is what it is today because of her generosity. But it was also so pure. She said, if it doesn't hurt a little bit, she doesn't feel that it's a donation. And by hurt a little bit doesn't mean not having enough food, not having shelter. It means maybe not getting a new phone this year. And that's what Buddha taught, is everybody should have adequate housing for bugs. I think in India that was, and rain, and should have enough food and something to wear, clothing. So anyway, that's a little bit about the yellow. And then the fifth one is the green, the karma, and that's action. And I think, this is my understanding, is the green is here in the heart chakra. It's not what one of these said, had it in a different place, but that's the many arms of Avalokitesvara is from the heart chakra, which is green. That's the many hands taking care of each other, doing. So the karma family is accomplishing, creation, makers, that's green energy. And the distorted, and they always said ambient, I never got that, but this is explaining it. It's this is jealousy. Let me look at the other one. This is Bernie's. Well, I don't know where I read it, but it was paranoia, jealousy and paranoia. And you know, they say that about people in social action, and I experienced that. And jealousy that comes through fear. I experienced that fear of being hurt from action. There's a movie called Priest. It's an English movie. And this young priest finds out that there's one of the priests is a pedophile and is using confession to, you know, he's harming children, but the priest, it's confidential, so the priest's not supposed to do anything. So he's praying to Jesus and he says, what can I do? What can, please, Jesus, please, God, make this better. Please punish this guy. And he said, and he is talking to Jesus, and he says, I know what you'd say. You'd say, I should do something, but if I do something, maybe I'll be crucified, which of course is the point. Jesus spoke out and was killed because of it. So to really do action for the sake of others, can create the fear. And then the jealousy thing that happens, I'm doing more than you, you're doing more than me. So anyway, that's green. So, hi, Princess Kitty. uh, I'm going to end it there. Just a brief conversation about the 5 families, and we'll go in way more at the workshop in May. I hope you can make it. So again, the white is Buddha. The red is and white is no self, emptiness, spaciousness, and the distorted side is spacing out, denial, ignoring. The Padma family is red. It's the connection of people, the interconnection of people, the all one. The distortion is inappropriate sex, idle talk, gossiping, then the Ratna is yellow, which is generosity and seeing the earth, seeing the resources as being enough. The awareness is few desires and being satisfied. And the distorted is greed, hoarding, stealing. And the karma is green and is action. And it is loving action, the 4th tenet. And the distorted is fear, jealousy, competition. Okay, so then the circles, we can further look at the circles. So for instance, the fundraising circle is yellow, it's giving. The tea and cookie circle is red because it's connecting and having a party. The buildings and grounds, the beauty day is green. Zazen session is white. What did I leave out? Blue. Right now, we're doing blue. Blue is seeing the differences and also right speech and recognizing that there are differences and applauding that, loving that. Okay, any questions?